them that go on different axes of aggression. Here we go. Early game up, the first 30 seconds. That's a mirrored rotation for both junglers, orange on each side.
Yeah, it looks like they're both going to be kind of hitting opposite sides around the same time. Hopefully, Basha is one of the few utility junglers left that can kind of keep up a little bit with some of these fast-moving assassins. And even now, we're seeing they're both going to be hitting those opposite buffs, but Basha actually gets to his purple a little quicker.
Yep, looking at the emblem set, a lot of impure rage for the Falcons. All this while, SRG keeping it sustainable. Again, the front line of Cram and Yumes with the brave smites. And then you got the burst from Stormy and Sekai's. Now check this out, Sekai's trying to get a little cheeky, stealing away the small buff spotted up by Super.
Yeah, but Super's doing a good job. He's keeping eyes, he's keeping vision. I'm wondering, we've been seeing a lot of switch-ups from a lot of teams. Sometimes it's a heavy focus on the EXP lane. Sometimes it's a heavy focus on the gold. I'm wondering what these two teams want to try to go for.
This is as 50-50 as it gets. Neither as aggressive unless Kenji coming in.
A little bit of damage on to Cram there. Cram should be okay unless Goodnight gets something crazy off. 20 seconds till Turtle coming up. Falcons actually taking the aggressive route.
That's one more wave Goodnight's looking for to get that level 4. IMU still not online. Yumes and the rest of them pushing him out of that long bush. All right, here comes the Turtle, 5 seconds in.
I mean, and I like the way the SRG, they're really kind of, we're seeing mid, we're seeing the roam, we're seeing everyone kind of stick together, getting ready for this Turtle. I got a feeling we might see a big 4v4 as this Turtle comes up. Sekai's keeping vision, and when you have this assassin on the jungle, you don't have to try to force the Turtle, right? You can dive in any moment you want.
Yep, and it's Kenji who's incentivized to go a little harder on it. There's the Unite.
All right, Ding trying to make his way around the back. Sekai's able to take the Turtle, though. Yumes not forcing anything, able to step back. A lot of damage on a Ding, though, but no one's Fury misses everyone. And members of Team Falcon going down.
Stunning light, just for good measure, why not? And the Mystic Field. Oh, wow. Impressive how the top teams in MLBB Esports now are able to make the Savior feel like an early game hero. Now the purple in jeopardy. Kenji can't even contest, man. Early on, grant that purple. Look at this. Goodnight can try to keep it.
Ooh, Goodnight. Not able to save it. Sekai's does take it, and not only the purple was in jeopardy, but Kenji as well. He had to leave. He had to just go over to the orange buff, and now a little bit of damage onto Super. Super forced to flicker back, and SRG bringing some aggression in the mid side.
Team Falcons, despite being the hometown heroes, are put on the back foot. Very difficult going up against Selangor Red Giants. Again, 4 months and counting, undefeated. Cram jumping in the Ding.
Ooh! Snipe from long range, again, just for good measure. Sekai's probably would have been able to do it himself, but SRG are wasting no time to kick things off.
Yumes here, one-man enforcer. Keeping in check not just the roamer, not just the gold laner, but even the jungler. Again, Kenji has been having a hard time ever since minute 1. He's been behind EXP as soon as the Turtle started. And now looking at the gold lead, we're approaching 2K.
Man, Super and Goodnight are just having trouble even stepping out to that river right now. There is fear in the air. They smell it. They know it's there. Yumes just always waiting. Great positioning. They want Super to come out. They want Goodnight to come out. Luckily, they're not taking the bait right now, but what does that mean for their rotations?
I mean, it means Team Falcons can only really do so much that Selangor Red Giants allow for it. And you mentioned now, it's the fear of crossing over too much. Kenji forced to use the Ignite. See, usually when you play a Baksha in this current metagame, you want to use it aggressively, the way Carl Teasy uses it, right? Getting in your face, forcing fights when the enemy's not ready. But now SRG, they're the ones who are saying, hey, you dare cross the line, you get punished.
Yeah, look at Ding, though. Getting some nice locks onto Sekai's. Might be able to get the kill here. Can he find him? Flickers in. One more hit, but Sekai's gets away. Turtle does go to Team Falcons. Well played by Ding, zoning them away. They lose Super for it. What do we think about the trade?
That's good. I'd like to think that the way that fight went, it's Team Falcons showing, hey, Trex, it's not the fear. It's just the timing. We're waiting for a good engagement. Now Lark in the back line. Oh,
just can't fully follow up. Stormy showing up now. Lark comfortable in the Zmon's force, but we're seeing the pressure be returned. We're seeing some shots coming back from Team Falcons.
All right, took a while until some backup came in to help Innocent. But again, that's what SRG is made of. They're so good at synchronizing across the map, of making these plays count, not just one for one, but add up into an eventual conversion. And I think that's one thing that Selangor Giants are lacking just yet. Since a lot of the early game was 50-50, like man-to-man defense and lane-for-lane advantage, they really didn't get to bear down on one, meaning no real hard pushes yet. If anything, it's Falcon who made up for that. Look at Lark. He put the turret down bottom almost at half health. So that means if the same turret, if the same turtle engagement happens again in the upper corner now for the third turtle, I think Team Falcons might be onto something.
We'll see what happens here. Falcons want to try to get in position for this turtle. You're talking about Xavier being a late game hero and showing some good strength this early on. I would say the same for Lark here. I mean, Harith does well against the Roger early on, but still, he's already chunking. We're only 6 minutes in, and we're seeing those 900 damage marks come up on the minions. We're seeing him just start to, he brought that tower already down a bit. He could be a threat very soon if he's able to get in the midst of things here. Kenji gonna take a little bit of damage. That guy's able to get involved as well. Cram might be able to get away from this, should be okay.
Cram is forcing things from Team Falcons. Again, I think it's clear now that SRG, they can't let the fear ruin Team Falcons, because Team Falcons, they are champions of MPL MENA. They are champions of the golden season. And I guess that makes sense why Lark is now putting the team on his back. They're trying to fight back. Yum's here, get knocked up, dashing away. Turtle still standing.
Both teams now taking this one slow. I think SRG are now showing some respect because Ding keeps coming from the back, but this time he's found out.
All right, Ding's been trying that for the better part of the past 2 minutes. And again, it worked out. That's how Kenji was able to steal away that second turtle. And now Selangor Giants, although we're smarter, turtle still up, just barely.
He's getting the knockup. Sekai's able to take it. Dawning Light does come down. Kenji goes down. It's looking rough for Team Falcons. SRG 5-0.
The Giants are forcing Team Falcons to pull out another trick. What else you got in your arsenal? We can't keep up this whole Ding. Goes in the back line, responding to Cram's forced engagements. All right, we're over that. What's next? Team Falcons says, you know what? Gold lane has been pretty open, but y'all did leave mid just as well vulnerable. It's a good trade. I think SRG still way ahead, and I think the gold will tell you all about that, but now Ding
flickers back, able to get the bob and weave, the sidestep, the dip, duck, and dive. Gets back to base there. SRG, though, I mean, they broke up in mid. Now we're just seeing them rotate across this whole top side of the map. It's looking a little grim. Team Falcons need to, I think, you know, what do they do from here? Do they try to get some towers? Do they try to get some cheeky steals? Do they already start to huddle up? We're only 8 minutes in.
Well, about a minute away from a Lord. Team Falcons unable to get anything save for a turret and a stolen turtle. Something tells me now Selangor Giants turn on Team Falcons and they press a clutch, because now look, they're giving Ding a good chunk of attention. This was not prior what the early game looked like. During laning, it's usual that, again, you mentioned gold lane gets attacked, XP lane gets attacked. Now it's only happening during the power spike. Ding's in trouble.
Oh, poor Ding. Ding, ding. Goes the bell.
Take a nap.
Now. I mean, it's go good night.
And to be fair, good night is one of the anchors of Team Falcons. There really wasn't much for Ding to do here. There was an amount of CC waiting for him in the back line. There was a sniper down top, and here we go, the dance.
The way they disperse out of that Minoan's Fury. Super doing everything he can, but it's not enough. Innocent finds Lark, and now Kenji. This is looking rough. Team Falcons looking for an answer here.
No break dancing here in this street.
The way they all just move. Minoan's Fury comes down and all of SRG literally just whoop.
They disperse and then they recollapse. And I understand how Lark was so gung-ho about saying, no, we can summon force here. Everybody's ready. And now, oh no, they give him another one. Ding's down. I don't know what the plan was there, to be honest. Of all of the engages that Team Falcons tried to put out there in this 10-minute bout, that must have been the oddest one.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Ding's supposed to be the guy that gets to the back line, right? He's supposed to be the guy that can kind of zone away. Sekai's, we saw a little bit, and I think that's why, that's the great genius of this SRG, bringing him to 0 and 5. He can't even hang out in the back line. He can't even hang out anywhere right now. He's so behind. 1.5 gold difference.
It's amazing interception from Selangor Giants. It's more than just the damage that they're playing with. Again, the vision and the aggressive rotation from Yum's Edith allows for Team Falcons to have a false sense of security and say, you know what, we can move around. You know, this is a four-man coalition, and then you send Cram elsewhere. This is the same formation with a different amount of aggression and rotation. Selangor Giants not even giving a single kill over the Team Falcons, and now they're knocking down on their doors.
Knock, knock, Lords here. Innocent gonna play the distance in a nice penalty zone. Into the midst of the tower, Kenji just looking for something. Mon's Force does drop. Lark takes a lot of damage.
And there's a Minoan's Fury, able to keep him down, but no one's falling.
Innocent still going for it, Lord. Now at the base. Kenji, good night ding. Can they do something? The base goes down. SRG gives no time to breathe. It is a flawless game.
The game of inches that SRG played in this very fast game paid off and hit critical mass, forcing Team Falcons to go back to the drawing board much, much sooner than they expected. Game 1 goes over to SRG.
God, SRG made it look easy, man. 11 minutes in, didn't take a single death anywhere on the map. I can't wait to see what our analysts say. If there's even, I mean, what can Falcon do at this point?
This explains why they've gone undefeated for the past 4 months.
Undefeated,
This
zero
clean,
deaths.
This clean of a game. I mean, a turret here and there, a turtle maybe.
At max.
It all comes through in conversion. I'm sure Gideon, LaFell, and Wolf would be happy to break this down. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much to both our casters. And yeah, that was an 11-0 game. Like, it's about how you start the day, and it's about giving a statement.
Yep.
And Selangor Giants just did both.
I have to mention, when our caster said, hey, Stormy's making Xavier look like an early game hero, he really did. He's harassing people underneath turrets, and he's making Ding honestly lose his lane because of the amount of health he's getting chunked out.
Yeah, this is what you get when you reveal your mid-duo in the early stages of the draft. Like, obviously, that is the Valentina plus the Mirador. It was first picked by Falcons. I understand why that is the case, because Good Night, this is one of his best heroes. And to be fair, Super is landing good shots. It's just that there's no follow-up, and it's way too early. Despite landing a 3-man Minoan Fury or a knock-up, it wasn't enough because there wasn't any follow-up. However, with that, in that case, that's why I felt like the Xavier might come into play when we were watching the draft. It's because Xavier will not be stopped by that. You'll just get attacked through all of the damage, and you're gonna be able to reset your cooldown. Transcendence is a normal state now for the Xavier in that case.
And we got to talk about the items as well. He just has the Enchanted Talisman as well as the Glowing Wand.
Yeah, it's so effective, right? And especially when you are utilizing Bargain Hunter, it really speeds up that process, right? The quicker you get your items, the stronger Xavier becomes in these types of games. And then we start looking at the stats. Innocent was having he was living by himself. He was in a bachelor patch this time.
Yeah, I think of this as the typical playstyle of SRG. Allow Stormy as well as Yums just wreak havoc in the mid lane. Sakai's, of course, with the typical jungle assassin choices. That he's always the problem. Is always like the hero that you have to look out for, that you have to manage. That means that when you're looking at the gold day now, Innocent is he's just having a field day because there's nobody paying attention to him. And in this case, that Roger was unleashed.
Can we talk about the EXP lane as well, where we saw the Terzla going up against the Paquito, and you guys were talking about, before we even jump into the game, about how damage dealer EXP laners, they want to be the employee of the month. And then the Terzla player is just like, I'm just here to do my job. And Cram did an amazing job.
He did. And I think, a lot of it just came down to, it's not even just Cram, it's the fact that he held out and then started calling the reinforcements at the correct time. Because we saw that Ding, before even he walking over to the very first turtle, didn't hit level 4, was in a position when he was already below 50% of his HP, and that was basically first blood guaranteed by SRG on first interaction.
And that's the thing with the mid duo, right? It's the EDIP that can easily get into the EXP lane. In the middle, if you're the mid, you're just gonna be walking very, very slowly, right?
And because of the first game of this match, right now, Selangor Giants, they are at match point where they need one more point to qualify to the knockout stage. And Team Falcons, after the game finished, we saw the reactions of the players. They understand the predicament they are in now. Now it's all about life and death. Like, they have to win this one, because the moment they lose, then by the end of today, they will have to give their key to get crushed.
And unfortunately, even if they do win the next match, it's going to be 1-1. They have to wish for the other teams to kind of mess up across the...
Yeah, exactly.
So that is definitely a difficult spot to be in.
It's a reality check, honestly. It's a reality check when you come to these international tournaments and you haven't been here before. It's a game of inches, as Leo like to mention, right? Every small mistake you make, honestly, in a local region, it's totally fine. Small mistakes, you can bounce back from it. But here, every mistake is being exploited.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at them, because again, it was 11-0. What do you think is going to be the discussion? Because if we're talking about the draft, like who do you pinpoint to ban out?
I don't think that there's ever a world where you have to target ban. I think you really have to just adjust it. I mean, Zico is part of this team, has to find it out. I think what you need to do is to not reveal so much of your hand and maybe just settle on the meta picks. For example, the Valentino is the Minotaur, although that works a lot. That's a very strong mid duo.
It's a very strong mid duo, yeah.
But you reveal it, and now you expose its weaknesses, that it's not that aggressive. You think about it. Valentino can be aggressive, but the Minotaur has to wait for the second item. That's the thing with the Minotaur, actually, after the Flask updates.
Yeah.
Before, you're very tanky, you're just going to pick up dominant size, you're good. But in this metagame we have right now, where you have to prioritize the Flask, it means that in the first, 8 minutes of the game, that Minotaur is actually very squishy, if you think about it.
It is
You
very
don't have a tanky item.
No, I can't confirm, yeah.
He is equivalent to your mage, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem. I think even when we're not talking about just the draft and revealing that mid-duo, obviously, I think even on a micro level, Falcons need to be more decisive on these calls. That first interaction already costed them so much and ended up bleeding into the jungle way too early in that game.
Yeah.
I think Ding should have said, hey, I'm not level 4. There's no point for us to actually go into these types of fights unless we guarantee a positional advantage.
And continuing that conversation, we got to see how this became an 11-0 match. Let's check out the Sony MVP of the game, and it's going to be Yumes as the roamer for Selangor Red Giants. We're going to look at the highlights here to see he's everywhere around the map.
He doesn't make too many mistakes here, and I think that Yumes being this aggressive is always great, right? Because as we heard from the roundtable, their chemistry is really good. I can almost imagine what Yumes is communicating to the rest of the team. And sometimes it's not even him talking. It could just be Cram saying, hey, I got an angle here. Anybody can follow up, and Yumes just goes.
Yeah. Good first turtle take coming out from the entirety of Falcons, but then again, second turtle, that really went badly in their favor. Look at Cram. He's facing up against 2 of the members of Falcons. Really not going to have any problem, but what really happens here is that your mid duo is kind of locked into the center, literally the center of the map, where everybody else is making a play. Yumes going for the flicker play out there with the suplex.
Honestly, looking at Yumes, he reminds me of how Sanford was using Edith yesterday, where he basically just chain CCs a bunch of opponents, making them not be able to move. And let's talk about how beautiful this is. This is a team that compromises of Malaysian players and Filipino players, and they're talking about their synergy. When the thing that I love, they don't talk about their synergy in game. They're talking about their synergy out of game, and that's lovely. Yumes now are a Sony game MVP, 7 KDA, 64% kill participation.
You know what, you asked me who teams should target when they're facing up against SRG, and I said Yumes, like, limit him to heroes that kind of, they're not active, and I thought that Edith is actually gonna fall into that spot. Well, Yumes just proved to me today that that's not the case. He's Edith, the way that he plays it, he can play it as well as his Cho can be.
So in a way, you've already suggested what should be done. They did it.
Yeah.
It still didn't work.
Still didn't work.
Yeah, I really think that it's tough to really target them in the draft, and it's really just a skill check at this point for Falcons. I think that, man, I don't want to say that like maybe they'll have a better advantage going on to the red side, because the red side is already so difficult to deal with. I'm guessing that Falcons is going to stay on blue side, but as you mentioned, don't reveal that mid duel first. But somebody has to be the sacrificial lamb. I'm thinking that it just might be the gold lane.
Just might be like get the better heroes like Roger, for example. There's not an actual direct counter to that. Harith as well as Roger, they just naturally can solve the problems. Even when you say they pick up Moskov as well as Nathan, those heroes can easily be managed. But between Roger and Harith, they have so many ways, because of the dashes that they have access to. They can win or at least mediate the lanes.
And for you guys at home, we've been talking about 2 new amazing skins coming out. Well, it's actually coming tomorrow on July 7th. Soul Vessel Series skins, Aemon Vessel of the Seed as well as Hanabi Vessel of Rage are slated for a stunning reveal. It's going to be tomorrow, so don't miss out. Make sure you guys grab it as soon as it comes out. Speaking of, Jushin, the new mage hero, has arrived. With her exclusive pack, get the hero and her ethereal Serenity skin during the launch week. It's only 469 diamonds. If you guys bought it for battle points, you can also get the skin for only 51 diamonds during the first 14 days. It's running out soon, so make sure you guys grab it while you still can. Talk about game number 2.
Yeah.
You guys talked about it. The draft is going to be a difficult task to tackle. So now it's all about skill checking? Like, can you expand a bit more on that?
All right. So when I'm talking about skill checking, we're talking about the rotations as a team. When you find a micro advantage against an opponent or you identify a significant pattern, I think that SRG has done some really good pre-preparation, not only towards the draft, but also amongst their laners, right? If Innocent is in trouble, I think they wouldn't have made that first rotation to the top side of the map. I think it really just depends on the game state. And I think that's the big problem with Falcons right now, that they can't identify a game state that is actually in a winning position for them, and they need to be decisive about it because we see them just kind of like walking around thinking about it.
That's very difficult. That's a very difficult situation, which I agree. Unfortunately, Falcons has been put in. Although we can say many things about the draft, it still is a skill issue for this team. Like, for example, the Paquito versus Tur is the problem, right? Although that is technically Terisla sided because you're not gonna die. Paquito has some ways to solve it. Maybe you can proxy, maybe you can get a little bit of help.
It comes down to emblem setup, honestly.
Yeah, I do agree with that too.
If I remember the game correctly, you know what's the craziest thing? You know how Wolf suggests something and it makes sense, and then so they should do it. They actually tried. They brought the jungler come into the EXP lane.
Yeah.
But the thing about Cram is that he knows what's going to happen. It's like, okay, 3, 2, 1, jungler come up, I'm backing off. So it makes the rotations coming in from Falcons mute because it's like, we know what you're going to do in 320, it's 320, and then, okay, back off.
Yeah. Everything can be calculated in terms of set timers. Like Nolan, for example, how fast can he actually farm? If you really put it down into numbers, it gives you some perspective for your side lanes to actually slowly back away.
Yeah, but it's like, how do you fight against a team that knows what you're going to do before you do it?
Oh, difficult for sure. Oh, okay, so SRG is going to be in the blue side. Red side for Falcon this time. With the Fanny being banned, they are not in a good spot now for Falcon.
I think, personally, to answer your question, Lafel, I think Falcons need more tempo breakers. I think they need heroes where they're able to kind of create plays on the fly. Because if everything is too set, SRG already has the textbook. You got to go above and beyond here.
Yeah, tempo breakers like the Chow, like the Grok.
Why do you say it like that?
Chow?
The Chow?
Ka-chow.
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 All right.
Speaking of which, in Malaysia, that's, you know, ka-chow means, well, ka-chow means disrupt, disturb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
well, I
ka-chow,
did not know that.
That's an actual Malay word.
Wow, learned something. Ka-chow.
What were you pointing out? You had a bit of an exclamation.
Yeah, so this is Fanny and Ling already banned. That means that Chip and Louis are open.
Oh, yeah.
But what I'm scared of is that SRG already banned the Faramis. Faramis and Ardent, two of the heroes that I always will pick up when going up against both of those teleporters.
Oh, Arcadia's having a good draft.
Yeah.
Arcadia's having a good draft here.
I agree.
Which do you prefer? I know locally everybody always asks this question, Chip or Loyi. Val's already saying Chip. What are you thinking?
Chip. Also Chip for me.
Chip for you?
Dude, Yums was the MVP. Let's remind ourselves that, right?
I mean, this entire group stage, we've seen some really fast plays coming in with the Loyi as well. I mean, just because she doesn't have like a dedicated teleporter, these big feints with the diversions happen pretty game-breaking.
Oh, man. I hope, okay.
Right.
So they gave up Louis at least. And if you're SRG, do you really want to pick up the Louis at this point? Maybe they're going to challenge it and give it up to the other side. With the Harris being banned, maybe Roger might even be a good pickup as a start. Because there it is.
Oh, they prioritize the Roger.
Because they know that they can answer the Louis.
And I mean, to be fair, we still don't know where this Roger's going. It's Innocent's hero,
that's
but
also true.
Sakai is like, yo, I know how to play it too.
So Louis Terisla is going to be the case?
They have to pick up the Louis, right?
Yeah, you have to pick it up.
Because if you don't, that's questionable.
Very, very questionable.
That's like purchasing armed weapons and giving it over to your opponent.
Exactly.
It's just, there's no reason not to do it.
the next best thing might be get the Valentina now for Falcons so that you at least have control over the Roger. I do like the Terizla first pick though for Falcons. They pick up the Edith, so it's a snag. But this reveals the Edith's position, which is going to be in the Rome.
What if it's Terizla mid?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, anything can happen now.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. This is the mid-season cup.
It is the mid-season cup. I will say that seems to be a little unlikely because we don't see it happen very often for Falcons. I'm just going based off of data here. You know, if this was Fireflux, completely different story.
Yeah. Louis Nathan? Nolan, I mean?
Nolan, yeah, Nolan.
I also like the. I also like.
Pick out your EXP before
Julian.
it gets banned out.
I also like Julian for SRG. If they are willing to give up the Louis this time, that might be the choice.
Real talk, I'm hoping that Stormy is going to play like a Julian mid or something wild.
All right, so it's
like
Louis, understandably so, and then Nolan. All right.
So
Everything's normal.
yeah,
Everything's as expected, but that doesn't mean that Falcons are out of the weeds. Okay, I have to say, Edith plus the Terizla, two of the very tacky heroes that we have in the metagame that can actually kind of survive against this SRG. So maybe another beefy boy for Falcons, maybe a Baxia.
You know why? That might be not the best case scenario. When a draft happens like this, you show off your Terizla, you show off your Edith. Arcadia usually just whispers in the ear of Cram. Xborg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xborg sounds really good, especially if the Baxia is indeed going to be picked up. Go Farsa instead.
Oh, okay.
You reveal your mid duo again? Ugh.
I mean, to be fair, it's a strong middle. We've said the same thing for the previous game.
Yeah, for sure.
But at this point, I feel like for them, if we don't pick it up now, it's definitely going to get banned compared to the jungle where perhaps they have more options. Maybe even a Bane because, you know, the Bane did cause problems for Selangor Giants before, so maybe it's crazy enough to work.
I have to agree with LaFell in this situation, right? As much as I don't want to reveal the mid duel, I think right now is a good way to actually start pinching down on certain heroes, like direct counters like Xborg, for an example, to at least allow Ding the opportunity to actually play the game.
Yep. Other option is the Yuzhong, which is not a direct counter to Terizla, but definitely is to the Farsa. And you don't want Dragon just flying around with the Luyi ultimate because that's indeed a combo. You teleport, you know that trick where you teleport your teammates outside of the map, outside of the minimap, and then out comes the Dragon, and then you cannot defend anymore? Yeah, you don't want to face that again.
Oh, hopefully they get a little bit more here. I'm more worried for the side of Falcons if it really boils down to it. What jungler is actually going to be useful besides the box here? Do they still... I mean, there could be some consideration of actually picking up Fredrin in these types of cases, but at the same time, in the earlier stages of the game, when you have that Lo Yi around, as much as you are a big beefy tank, there's a good chance that you can, like, yin-yang reaction with somebody else unintentionally.
100%. Fredrin hates playing against the Luyi, so... But the next best thing for utility jungler should be the Baxia, but... I think SRJ are not that concerned. They want to eliminate the good laners against Roger, which is, in this case, the Moskov. Moskov doesn't technically win against Roger, but I would say Moskov has a better time than most gold laners.
I feel like they just want to win the tempo, right? Like, eliminate marksmen that have a cheap item builds, maybe even a Claude, so forcing out something like a Beatrix, someone is a bit more expensive.
Okay, so with that, perhaps a Beatrix as the ban for SRG. With the, obviously, just gonna limit the options.
Honestly, like, I feel like slippery heroes that maybe the Nolan doesn't have a good time bursting down because looking at the composition from SRG, Louis is good front to back, and the Nolan can flank. So it's kind of like covering all the different angles of a potential team fight, making it so that they have answers no matter what Falcon has.
But it just feels like they're attuned to Falcons more of being self-sufficient, right? It's not like, oh, I'm going to go look for the counter draft. It's more so I'm going to limit your options and really make sure that you don't have any answers.
That's practically checkmate from Coach Arcadia, deciding to go for the Baxia, which we did prescribe is going to be the ban. Now you're pretty much limited now if you are Falcons. But I do like the odds for the Beatrix. Another hero could be the carry. So at least you have that lockdown, and then even when there's a teleportation that's gonna happen, hold your ground, get the flicker, maybe outlay them with your burst through the ultimate. Maybe that's the choice for Falcon. I would say that they have to pick their marksman now so that they can flex their last pick jungler, which could be somewhere around this Hayabusa, which I would have. I was getting into that.
No, I was thinking.
I was
Hayabusa
literally
as
getting
well.
into that, but I wanted to have it on the last pick so that it will not be answered.
Hey man,
Oh, man.
I was thinking about Hayabusa, but I was thinking the response from SRG. This could be like a Cho pick, honestly,
Yeah,
right?
Cho, it's great.
They need some way to not only cancel out the feathered airstrike, but to be a legitimate threat, a single target lockdown towards this assassin.
Yeah. Now that SRG is more comfortable, what if they pick up maybe the X-Borg actually? Or maybe somewhere along the lines of a glue, which is okay, Hilda.
Oh,
They go Hilda.
Hilda.
Oh my word.
I mean, it's not a Cho, but it's definitely Kachao.
Oh, dude,
man.
I don't
How do you
know.
answer this?
I don't know. I don't know about this one. It's been a while since we've seen the Hilda, and with the 2-minute like extra damage, like is this actually gonna work, or are they gonna wait after two?
No, they just have to invade. They just have to invade Hayabusa.
Yeah, Yums he said that, oh, I don't care about Sky Piercer, I don't build it.
Yeah.
What if he's lying?
What if it's like?
What if
Oh,
it's gonna
man.
be first item Sky Piercer on the Hilda?
Yeah.
This
and
is my moment.
I think for Falcons, you're now left with carry. Actually, you have no
Yeah,
choice.
carry.
If they're bold enough, you go for the
Beatrix?
gold lane.
Clint.
Clint. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Clint has range. Clint can win against Roger.
Okay. Casters, settle up. Because this is going to be the match cider for SRG going up against Falcon. We're seeing a Clint. We're seeing a Hilda. The analysts have said what they think. So, Casters, what do you think?
Welcome back to the caster's desk here with Trex and Leo. And yes, confirmed, we do have a debut pick in the Claude. And if I'm not mistaken, that's also a debut Hilda.
I think we saw one in wild card.
In the groups then.
And groups. Either way, we have a lot to unpack here with these two drafts. A lot to look at. We have the Hayabusa. He's been kind of, tiptoeing along the lines of will this work or not. And I think right now it has to do a lot with mechanics if the jungler can really pull it off. And the question is, can Falcons pull this off, Leo?
That and the fact that maybe, just maybe, Coach Arcadia, Coach Vecchi, they may have just cornered Zico into finally just picking the Hayabusa, the only one left after that last phase ban. Here we go, game number 2. Can the champions of MENA make the invulnerable giants, the titans of MPL MY bleed? I'm worried about this Clint. Yes, it does have the range, but also when it gets down to it, oh no,
Youm's taking a lot of damage. Genji goes back. I feel like he should have committed on that.
they should just lean hard on it.
Yeah.
At worst case, again, they don't have the vision. They don't know if Stormy or if Sekais was going to double down on it too, so I understand.
I don't know, man. Sometimes you just got to take the 50-50. You got to go for it. I think a lot of this game is going to come down to how Kenji plays this. A nice knock-up. Sekais goes down. Team Falcons getting first blood in this.
All right. Good start here for Team Falcons. Eventually, they do fix that little boo-boo, and it helps that they put the kill on to one of their early game cores. I don't expect Kenji to go as fast yet, so invest in their anchor. Put it in to the hands of Good Night. Get him a solid first item. Oh, the flicker by Super!
Another jump up. Down goes Stormy. Good Night gonna pocket the kill. That's 2-0 for Good Night right now.
All right, starting off strong for one of the pioneers of the import game in MPL MENA. Talking about what SRG should be doing right about now. Another one!
They're just walking into it. Yumes on the run, but no, the Wings by Wings comes in. Good Night said not today, but wait. He still goes down the trade up. Sekais finds a response. Super gonna hightail it out. It's a 1-for-1.
That's a shutdown. So whatever Goodnight was working towards, it's gotta stop, says Sekai. You were saying prior to this fight.
Yeah, I mean, he gets something. Sekai's gonna get involved. 1-1. Good Night, though. It would have been nice if he got a 3-0. I think that would have really tilted the scales, but now SRG gonna even things out. Super taking a lot of damage from the duality, getting proc there. Stormy brought down to about half health. Kenji, Cram looking for something here. Sekai still able to get the turtle. Super now very low. Kenji goes down. Super forces back off, gets a knock up, the flip up, the takedown. Good Night finds the kill. Feels good saying Good Night's name.
Good on the exit there, Team Falcons, but I hate to mention this, but another bout of doubt for Kenji. You see how he hesitated on the retribution? I don't know exactly where the line is when you're this far. Look, see? It still went to Sick Eyes. And it's not like he's down on EXP, though. They were both level 5. And the burst was coming through, so yeah. Massive objective going over to Team Falcons, but now Super in trouble.
Oh, Super taken off the map. Kenji gonna get involved here, though. Quad Shadow's back in! Able to get the kill on Humes with the Hoogie Shadow kill. But now Innocent's here, gets a like and pounce. Kenji's gotta try to hightail it. But the Divergent gonna be coming soon, and Kenji goes down. Stormy picks up the kill.
All right. So now, for once, Kenji's the one putting his foot forward. Even used that final Quad Shadow to get in, get a kill, Shadow kill through, but did not have an exit plan. Okay, Team Falcons showing us that, hey, we do not have what Mr. Fear looks like. It's not that. It's just that maybe Selangor Giants are playing a little bit off kilter and are changing the way the game is. What?
Ooh.
Oh, they didn't get to do this early. But now Humes and Cram finally able to deny Kenji. Oh, with the big
A lot of damage on it. Good night tries to drop the feathered airstrike, but he might not be able to get away from this. Segai's under, dodges the knockup. Segai's able to dance through. Good night just escapes with a sliver, a piece of health. But Team Falcons now feeling the pressure from SRG.
Goodnight knows exactly how Nolan works. Oh, the diversion right in your face! Kenji was trying to get some bread, man. He was just trying to get his purple ball. And now Stormy punished here by Goodnight. Goodnight is carrying a good amount of this game, man. 80, 90% after this quick diversion play that came out of nowhere. Goodnight says, you know what, we got to punish these guys. This can't happen. Super with the amazing onward too.
That was overnight delivery right there. That was an instant airdrop.
Amazon Arena Prime.
Amazon Arena, instant delivery, baby.
Via drone.
Right to your purple buff, right to your house.
And you see in Goodnight's face like, I'm just taking what I can. Oh, we're just waiting for all of this to come through. Cram in trouble.
Ding trying to dance around Set Guys. Does get the turtle off screen a little bit there. But still, SRG, they might have fumbled the ball for just a minute or two, but now they're back in it with the 500 gold lead. Sekai is just going to play ever so aggressive right now. They're trying to deny Kenji everything.
And because of how Kenji is being bullied out of his resources, Lark is also second guessing. Lark is also wondering, hey, can we fight this? Should we come in? I don't think there's a cleanup crew. And that's what's so difficult about Hayabusa right now. Ooh, Innocent coming in.
A lot of damage on to Kenji. Kenji with the shadow kill. Trying to dance around. Doesn't have the quad. Able to just get away there. Ooh. Well played.
Because of all this pressure Selangor Giants putting up top, there was a push down bottom by Cram and Stormy. You know, they didn't leave here. They didn't leave this this quarter of the map for the past minute. And because they can just leave just as quickly. You see that? Diversion. Team Falcons don't know that Cram and Stormy are on their way up. And Humes is still cutting the way from the back.
Yeah, the diversion just turns Mobile Legends into a very disgusting game. It is tough to deal with. Super. Gonna get a little bit of damage on a Cram there. Nice, I'm offended. Cram dancing around, finally does go down. Super able to pick up the kill.
Innocent. Dancing around, Humes gets punished. That's tough. That's tough. I think Selangor Giants has a solid plan. It's just they didn't expect Team Falcons to answer back as quickly. Ooh. Another one.
The back and forth right now. SRG takes the loss, though. 3 members down. Team Falcons not giving up at all. I think they got to try to translate this into some towers, though.
Yep, this has got to be it. I don't know if Innocent can defend this. The Earth Shatter up. Team Falcons scoring their first major objective. Top lane tier 1 goes. A quarter of a minute before the third turtle of the game spawns. And I don't know if Kenji is where he needs to be right now. He needs some backup. And Team Falcons, they can't fold the map the way Selangor Giants can.
All right, so Divergent.
Oh no, there it is, see?
Here comes the movement. Kenji can't even hang out in the bush, man. He can't even just camp somewhere.
Nothing comes
Humes, though, taking a bit of damage. SRG left him, and now he's alone. Goes down. Super able to get the kill.
And now the turtle getting worked on here. 3 members of SRG. Super gets the conceal. Can they do it?
Oh, they don't get there in time. Penalty zone does land on top of Set Guys. He's able to back up. Duality procs, Ding, Super, both taking a lot of damage. Can they do something, Kenji?
Cram bursting down by Kenji. All right, he walks in.
Oh, G-Shadow kill. A lot of damage on the Set Guys. Gonna try to pop back. Team Falcons, they lose the turtle, but they get another kill on the board.
Respect for Ding. Again, it's been a tough 8 minutes for the jungler of Team Falcons, yet still, he keeps up. He keeps up the work. You know, he shows face. He tries to check in bushes, even though he knows that there can always be a couple of members of SRG there. And looking at his item game, he is down by about 2,000. All right, you know what? My optimism might be misplaced, but I like how Team Falcons is making it work.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at Goodnight. At least we're making it up somewhere. 1,000 gold lead over Stormy right now, which that Fars is just going to hit harder and harder and harder. The problem has been, though, is the positioning. And every time Goodnight drops down the feathered airstrike, here comes Stormy, here comes Cram, here comes Yooms or Sekai's. Everybody's on Goodnight right now.
It's very clear when it's a go for SRG. As soon as the Goodnight feathered airstrike is done, then they can go for the re-engage. And again, let's not even consider the repositioning potential. Right? Oh my God, this is 5 members of SRG. What are they waiting to do here?
They're waiting for Kenji, but Kenji knows they're there right
now. They know Kenji's there too.
Kenji with the quad. Able to get the shadow kill on the Sekai's, but now he's between 5 members and instantly annihilated off the map. Gone, and here comes the diversion right back to mid. Now, let's push somewhere else.
And that cost them very little on the map. Usually when you try and camp up, they spot Ding.
Ding, ding. Gonna get pulled back. I'm offended. Not gonna be able to oh, wait a second. Penalty zone, still unable to walk away. And all too super. Maybe next on the block. The Primal Wrath trying to get some nice damage on a Sekai's. The 1v1 comes out on top with a shutdown too.
Big trade for Sekai's. He was sitting on a kill streak, but just the same, Team Falcons are on the back foot. It took, again, very little, a split second for them to have gone from top lane, smothered Kenji, down bottom, taking down Goodnight, taking down Ding, and Super didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it's at a point now where Team Falcons playing this very split up comp, and SRG is taking advantage of it. They're finding a member here, they're finding a member there. I think it's time for Team Falcons to, 4-1. Let Kenji maybe do his thing, but the rest of the team needs to stay together. Yooms taking a bit of damage. Lord does go to the side of SRG. Ding knows it's gone. They know there's no chance. They got to back off.
Quick diversion out of there. Take care of business, clean up house in the jungle, and wait until Lord spawns in about 5 seconds. Interesting how the Clint has been working out. Lark hasn't died, by the way. Lark hasn't died, so that's good, right? That's good. But how do you make it great? How do you make sure that this Clint is where he needs to be, even when there's like a Hilda on the run, when there's a possible diversion right behind you? I don't think the range is as important now in the mid game and in the late game as it was in the laning phase.
Very fair. I think Team Falcons, where they could really shine here, is actually when SRG is pushing to them with this Lord. When they try to come into that bottleneck, because you got the Feathered Airstrike, you got the Clint who wants to just kind of sit back, fire shots, get some free damage off. And if SRG makes even a small mistake, since they're not super far ahead, it's only 3K gold.
It's tight.
It's very tight, and we're at the 10-minute mark. We're closing into 11 minutes. Team Falcon lasts out this Lord. We could really see them come online.
All right, Lord wailing away here. Tier 2 gone, and that's it. All that's left for Team Falcons is their base turrets. How can they defend? Feathered Airstrike coming in from Goodnight.
Penalty zone as well on top of Innocent. Cram gonna go night. Goodnight able to get the kill. Team Falcons defend very well. No inhibitors down.
Solid defense here. Another minute and a half, give or take, until SRG can go at a Lord. And yes, by saying that, I'm also saying Team Falcons should not even consider contending for it. Again, it's a tight 4K, right? Previously 3K, that's a small gold lead gained from that Lord defense. But yeah, no, still, Team Falcons, one of their ways to defend is to punish from underneath the base. That's what they just did to Cram.
And they did it very well. Taking a look at some of these items, Clint has closed the distance a little bit. It's only a 1,000 gold lead now, or 1,000 gold deficit.
My eyes are still on Kenji and Sekai's, man. That's where the difference is for me.
Oh my God, is that 5?
Close,
5,000? Approaching?
Yeah, because again, Kenji can't do anything. Kenji can't get in there, and I don't blame him.
God, it'll be a while. We're talking about another 5-10 minutes.
And again, inside the base, a defense inside the base, a punish for someone who got in too deep or got diversioned in.
And I mean, the Hayabusa is someone you really want that mid-game spike on, right? It's someone that really wants to capitalize.
A snowball.
Yeah, just now it's just completely denied, which means Where's his use come in here? I think, you know, what we see with a lot of Assassins, you maybe go for some off-lane lane control. You have the movement, but when there's a diversion constantly coming, your movement means practically nothing.
And now I think you gotta address within and without, right? The fact that Goodnight and Super are having such a great game, that just shows that maybe Lark and Kenji are being displaced. The true cores of Team Falcons can't do their job.
Yeah, let's see if they can do something here. Penalty zone does land on top, and the dive comes in from Team Falcons. The shadow kill gets a little bit of something. Kenji comes back, Super pulled in.
Oh no! They punish him. The rope-a-dope forcing an engage from the roamer of Team Falcons, but it was all for Nai. They just wanted to get a pick off, and now Yumes checking on Kenji while the rest of SRG go for the Lord.
At least he gets his purple. At least he gets his purple,
His
Kenji.
first in a while.
His first in a while. It's feeling personal for Team Falcons. SRG closing down the grass. I like the lane. Closing down the grasp. I like the lane freeze right now. Back to these items, though. Anything major, anything crazy.
I'd like to note the fact that Innocent, despite not having many kills, again 2-0-2. Oh wait, the
Ding.
first and ding!
That happened so fast there was nothing to even talk about. Kenji still trying to see if he can get something, able to at least get his orange there. He's scrounging, man. He's digging in the dirt for the buffs right now. Lord coming.
I mean, lore-wise, that is accurate for a shinobi, for a ninja. They weren't really the most well-equipped warriors in medieval Japan, in feudal Japan.
Oh.
But no!
I'm offended on a Super might not be able to get away with this. Forced to use the Primal Wrath for the Lord. Even connects an Innocent. Gets that kill.
And now the base is exposed. Top lane down, mid lane up next. 2-lane penetration. Selangor Giants can feel it. This might be a trick. This might be it.
Penalty zone, locks on Innocent, along with Kenji. Kenji back, hands it back forth. Lark able to get a kill, but it is enough. Lord on the base.
And Kenji running out. Final quad shadow. Oh, base on a third of its health.
Stormy able to just not do it, but the base isn't down just yet. Team Falcons still defending. Doing everything they can. Cram, last man on the field with the arm offended. The
And
damage,
now,
and he's getting the
1v1,
outplay.
him and Lark, Lark and him.
This is insane. Super back on the map. Cram, though, standing strong. 1v3.
What did Papa Leo say? If Team Falcons were to find a comeback, it would be inside their base. An overcommitment punish onto the invulnerable Titans of Malaysia, Selangor Red Giant. Dude, that was 4 deaths. And again, I'm pretty sure someone's streak went down.
Yeah, that was definitely, I mean, all right, so 5K Goldie, let's take a replay. Let's take a look at this. The overcommitment, Kenji steps up.
Kenji did what he needed to do. He still died eventually. But still, I think the fact that Team Falcons played a good man-to-man defense and forced it to come down to a 1v1 and then eventually a 2v1 made this game last a little longer for them.
Hey, man, win or lose from Falcons here, that play's going in the Pepsi recap. That play's going in the reaction right there.
For sure. Even SRG understood. Even SRG said, hey, yo, that was pretty good defense.
Good D from Team Falcons.
All right, 30 seconds until the next Lord comes up. 16 minutes into this bout, and that's a fully built Nolan you're looking at. Still, so far, the largest gold gap between anyone from SRG and Team Falcons.
Yeah, it's completely bonkers.
Now down to 4K. Fair
Kenji
enough.
about to get his BOD in. Looks like he's about to get a BOD in. A little more damage. Might be able to actually, you know, take down Innocent if he can get the lock on. Might be able to take down Stormy if he gets the lock on. Innocent did just pick up that gold, the gold meteor though, so
Yep.
that's gonna kind of protect him there in a sense of things.
Yep, help him last a little longer against Goodnight. Maybe get the last 2 swipes for him to survive.
Ooh.
And now look at this Kenji, looking for the hero play, looking for the steal.
He's looking for the steal, right? He does quad shadow back. Hung out a little bit too long, decided not to full commit, and now he's going to get caught off anyway. Stormy, but here comes the penalty zone. He'll use his shadow kill. Should be able to get out of this safely. Watch out his back, but still caught in, and Cram is always there, always watching. Immortality does pop. A little bit of damage from Super Lark, still poking away, but Lord's going to be coming soon.
Whoa, Goodnight with another feathered airstrike, pushing back all of Selangor Giants, forcing them to wait for the Lord, spawning just about now.
Kenji should be back up just in time. 20 seconds.
I reckon it's a little too close. Look at this. Cram double timing on the wave clear. Perfectly synced, all waves in. Enhanced waves at that.
SRG looking for the finish right here. Team Falcons trying to do what they did last time. Nice time offended to pull Lark out of position. That guy's into the backside. Winter Truncheon does come out. Lord able to connect onto the base, and there's going to be no escape this time. SRG with a clean 2-0 sweep.
A valiant effort for Team Falcons to defend. Took them 3 Lords to get there. But SRG says no, the battle stays on the ground. No one's soaring high. Not here, not tonight.
The home team heroes try their best, right? And they performed well, but today they're cut short.